Well, welcome to today's rage, but it's a happy rage. Let me first say that I get more questions about our tower case than I do any other question. I mean, the world can be falling apart and people will be asking me, what's going on with our tower case? It involves a 23-story building that was a part of our purchase of the Heritage USA property that is now Heritage International. It was nearly finished. It's probably 85% completed when work on it was stopped when, the PTL problems hit. We had it, got it as a part of our property that we acquired. We had it checked out by the best engineers in the South, some of the best in the country, who certified that it was in great shape. Matter of fact, they said it was built decades ahead of its time and that very little deterioration, and it was ready to be restored. And we got their stamp on it. Well, then added value that came in between 11 and $15 million as it sits. Well, the York County decided they didn't want us to finish that thing, and we've been a long court battle over 10 years with the county. Now, there are federal laws and state laws that forbid any government entity from allowing a religious organization from developing its own property. I think when you get down to what was found in our case, I believe there's some criminal violations. You can't believe some of the emails we unearthed from county officials, even the top county councilman at the time, and the religious discrimination. So after filing our breach of contract with the local county court, York County Court, breach of contract suit with the county after exhausting everything we could do. We went through mediation, we did everything. It didn't work. We felt like we had there's no other course we could take. We couldn't allow property that value. It's owned by the ministry, not me, but as good stewards, we couldn't let that just be wasted. So, and we thought this was definitely serious abuse of power by the county, and we had to stand up to that, as I believe any citizen should. Well, anyway, later we filed in U.S. federal court for civil, not just civil rights, but for constitutional violations of our constitutional rights. Well, separate, those are two cases. One of them's breach of contract. We filed with York County. We felt like we got the most unfair treatment imaginable. We could not even believe the way we were treated. We know it's hard. You're going to sue the county in local county court. You got an uphill battle. But what was done to us was way over the top, in my opinion. So we filed an appeal, and a lot of appeals courts, they just kind of rubber stamped the lower court, which is what we think happened with us. In fact, we believe we have pretty good evidence. Our case was not even read. They had major omissions in what they sent back down. So we appealed to the South Carolina Supreme Court. Now, the South Carolina Supreme Court has been an entirely different situation so far. Today we got a what we think is major breakthrough ruling that they reviewed our case. They not only reviewed it, and they agreed with 2 of the 3 points, the only 2 that really mattered, that this is worthy of a trial. And so they allowed it in the South Carolina Supreme Court. It just, I don't know how we could have gotten a better ruling, really, if they had ruled on all 3. But the second one was really inconsequential. It's kind of I don't want to get into the legal stuff, but the 2 points that we won were just absolutely major. So we're big breakthrough. We've felt all along that if our rights were granted to a jury trial, we will have no trouble winning. We've not been treated well by the courts until this Supreme Court decision, and we have great hope in the federal court decision. We don't know yet. You just don't know until you get the rulings. But this with the South Carolina Supreme Court is major for us. Now, I appreciate all of your interest in that. That tower is a blight. Nobody wants it cleaned up and fixed up and finished more than we do. It's been an eyesore. To me, it's been a blight on the reputation of the body of Christ. I mean, that thing is still used as a shame on the body of Christ because of some of the failures that took place in ministries during the 1980s. It kind of sits there as an example. We started a tower we could not finish. I'm saying the body of Christ. Well, there is great hope now that things are breaking through. We're going to be able to proceed and finish that thing pretty soon, we hope. Pretty soon. And we're just so thrilled. It's our first real breakthrough. We all along thought this is the way the courts should rule, but you just don't know anymore. You can have all the law on your side and everything, and things still go against you. It's just the nature of things now, but it gives me great hope, at least in the South Carolina Supreme Court, that we're going to get some justice in this thing. Anyway, thank you for all of your questions, and I'm going to do another rant in just a few minutes on some of the other issues of our time that many of you do have questions about. But this was to answer those of you who've been so faithfully praying for that tower. Many of you have reservations for a place in it, and Lord willing, we're going to be able to get that thing going. This at least is pointing in the right direction. We're finally going to get this thing through, get it done. Thank you so much for all of your prayers and support.